1. Fortinet FortiWeb Critical RCE Hack Alert. Patch now to prevent attacks. CVE 2025-25257 explained. 2. Critical Cybersecurity Alert. Fortinet software vulnerability exploited. 3. Fortinet FortiWeb Critical SQL Injection Flaw. CVE 2025-25257 Patch it now. 1. Fortinet FortiWeb Critical RCE Hack Alert. Patch now to prevent attacks. CVE 2025-25257 explained. Fortinet FortiWeb devices hit with web shells exploiting known RCE flaw. Multiple Fortinet FortiWeb web application firewalls have recently been compromised with web shells, likely using publicly available exploits for a critical remote code execution vulnerability tracked as CVE 2025-25257. This flaw allows unauthenticated attackers to run arbitrary commands on unpatched devices via SQL injection. Threat intelligence firm Shadow Server Foundation first reported the exploitation activity, observing 85 infections on July 14 and 77 more the following day. The researchers believe the FortiWeb instances were hacked by exploiting the CVE 2025-25257 vulnerability. This critical SQL injection flaw affects FortiWeb versions 7.6.0 through 7.6.3, 7.4.0 through 7.4.7, 7.4.0 through 7.4.7, and 7.0.0 through 7.0.10. Fortinet released patches on July 8, urging customers to upgrade to FortiWeb 7.6.4, 7.4.8, July 2, 11, or 7.0.11 and later. Public exploits demonstrating how to plant web shells or open reverse shells on vulnerable devices were published on July 11 by cybersecurity company WatchTor and one of the flaw's co-discoverers. While there was no evidence of active exploitation at the time, the release of working exploits made patching essential. Shadow Server's confirmation of in-the-wild attacks should serve as a wake-up call for organizations that have not yet updated their FortiWeb instances. As of July 15, the Foundation found 223 FortiWeb management interfaces still exposed online, though the versions they ran were unknown. The majority of the compromised devices were located in the United States, 40, followed by the Netherlands, 5, Singapore, 4, and the United Kingdom, 4. FortiWeb is widely used by large enterprises, government agencies, and managed security service providers to block malicious web traffic. If upgrading to a patched version is not immediately possible, admins are advised to disable the HTTP/HTTPS administrative interface to prevent access to the vulnerable API endpoint. This critical vulnerability poses a severe risk, as it allows attackers to gain complete control over affected devices. But here's the controversial part. Some argue that releasing public exploits so soon after a patch is irresponsible and puts users at risk. What do you think? Should researchers wait longer before publishing exploit code? Let us know in the comments. 2. Critical Cybersecurity Alert. Fortinet software vulnerability exploited. In a startling revelation, cybersecurity experts are sounding the alarm about ongoing cyber attacks that are specifically targeting a crucial software component from Fortinet. This warning is particularly urgent for Fortinet users, who are advised to promptly apply necessary patches or, if that is not feasible, to disable the compromised administrative interface altogether. Published on July 17, 2025, the report highlights a significant security vulnerability within Fortinet's FortiWeb Fabric connector. This flaw, identified as CVE 2025-25257, involves a failure to properly neutralize certain special elements utilized in SQL commands. If exploited, this vulnerability could enable malicious actors to execute unauthorized SQL commands through specially crafted HTTP or HTTPS requests, as detailed in a Fortinet advisory. The FortiWeb Fabric connector plays a vital role as it acts as a bridge between the FortiWeb firewall and other Fortinet products, allowing for the seamless transfer of information that enhances FortiWeb's dynamic security measures. According to the Shadow Server Foundation, as of Thursday, they have identified around 49 instances of Fortinet FortiWeb that have been compromised. This number marks a decline from the 85 instances reported on Monday and the 77 on Tuesday, indicating a fluctuating but concerning trend. Shadow Server has noted that active exploitation of this vulnerability has been occurring since July 11th. Ryan Dewhurst, the head of proactive threat intelligence at Watchtor, emphasized the gravity of the situation, stating, "The advisory published by Fortinet is unequivocal about the severity of the risk. This is a critical, unauthenticated SQL injection vulnerability that must either be patched immediately or mitigated by completely disabling the affected web interface." He further remarked on the alarming speed at which threat actors are operating, noting that they are moving much faster than in previous incidents. Last week, researchers from Watchtor released comprehensive findings regarding this vulnerability, and Fortinet acknowledged that the flaw was reported to them by GMO Cybersecurity. The identity and motivations of the threat actors targeting FortiWeb remain uncertain, adding another layer of complexity to the situation. Given its essential function in facilitating connectivity among Fortinet products, the FortiWeb Fabric connector is deemed a critical component. Dewhurst pointed out that this connector supports key functionalities such as single sign-on, SSO, integration, and dynamic policy enforcement. Patrick Garrity, a security researcher at VulnCheck, noted, "Fortinet may not have been aware of the exploitation prior to the disclosure, and now that signatures and detection methods for the vulnerability have been established, other organizations are beginning to notice exploitation attempts as well." This situation raises important questions. How prepared are organizations to respond to such vulnerabilities? What measures can be taken to enhance security in the face of rapidly evolving cyber threats? We invite you to share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Are you concerned about the implications of this vulnerability? Let's discuss. 3. Fortinet FortiWeb Critical SQL Injection Flaw. CVE 2025-25257. Patch it now. Fortinet has released a critical security update to address a severe SQL injection flaw in FortiWeb, CVE 2025-25257. This vulnerability, with a CVSS score of 9.6 out of 10, could allow attackers to execute unauthorized SQL commands on vulnerable systems via HTTP or HTTPS requests. The issue lies in the Fabric connector components get_Fabric token function, which fails to properly sanitize user input. By exploiting this flaw, attackers can potentially gain remote code execution capabilities. Fortinet urges users to upgrade to the latest patched versions and disable HTTP/HTTPS administrative interfaces as temporary workarounds. Given the history of threat actors targeting Fortinet devices, it is crucial for users to promptly update their systems to mitigate risks. But here's where it gets controversial. How can such a critical vulnerability go unnoticed during the development and testing phases? And this is the part most people miss. The responsibility lies not only with the vendor but also with users to maintain a strong security posture by keeping their systems up to date. What are your thoughts on this? Do you agree or disagree? Let us know in the comments.